follicle for growth. These results, when you see them, we're going to take a look at them, but we have 6 months to pay for it of $65.83. Over 95,000 of these have been sold on QVC, and we have free shipping and handling. So $11.22 is what it normally is. We've taken that away for you today. And one of the things that I'm going to ask you is to please give us a call. If you have been using the HairMax and you've been seeing those results come through for you, someone who is watching today doesn't believe this works. Someone sitting there doesn't believe there's any hope for the regrowth in their hair pattern. We want you to call, share with your results, share with us how you're feeling about yourself, what the confidence level has risen to you. We want to hear from you. 822-5120 is your item number. And I want to introduce to you Randy Valicki, who is the Director of Clinical Research at HairMax. And he is not just part of that team, but you are also a client.
I am. I am a client. Nancy, how are you? How was everything?
I'm good. Thank you so much. We're going to really get into a full hour of, again, this HairMax, because there's a lot to share with you, but it's such a great, amazing technology.
It is amazing technology. You know, previously this was only available in doctor's offices and high-end salons. So you had to get in your car and drive to the salon and pay money to have this done 2 or 3 times a week. We've taken that same technology and we've brought it to the home. So now you can treat your hair loss. If you have hereditary hair loss, men or women, you can actually help to regrow your hair.
Isn't that wonderful? And we're gonna kind of go through everything, and we're gonna show you who really this is for. But in full disclosure, I have had that hereditary kind of hair loss right at my temples. Randy, you've shared that with me. That I'm so sorry, Nancy. It's hereditary.
Yes.
So I use the HairMax, and I go through and I use that right along the scalp lines to try to get this back again. And I feel much better now that I'm having that. I don't have as much hair loss right here. I'm just going to bring it up and show you, just so you can see.
This is great testimonial, Nancy. This is fantastic.
This is starting to all grow back up in there, and you want to be consistent on its use. But let's get into this. Let's talk about the befores and after to kind of give them those results.
Okay, we've got some before and after pictures. This first one is a female before and after picture. And it's important to understand that all of these before and afters were done by doctors in our clinical research. This woman had typical hereditary hair loss. You can see right through that hair. You can see down to that scalp. Look at this after picture, Nancy. Look how much hair has grown in. Now, it's important to know that this is not a cover-up. We're not camouflaging the hair. We're not making it look thicker. We're actually regrowing some of her lost hair.
Wow. And think about how she must feel now, too. And you might, if this is what you're seeing, this is why you want to try the HairMax Lux 9. How about a man?
Works on men and women. This is a gentleman who has your typical receding hairline. You know, receding hairlines are so popular amongst men. You can see that just, every day on the street. And if you want to do something about it, here's what you can do about it. You can use the HairMax, and you only have to use it 3 times a week for 11 minutes, and you can regrow that hair down onto your forehead like that.
These really have results. You're seeing those pictures of before and afters, but this is the first FDA medically, am I saying that right? Medical device that has been FDA cleared, right, for hair loss and hair regrowth. And this, you've done studies.
We've done 7 clinical studies with over 460 men and women. When you think about hereditary hair loss, you think about men, but 30 million women in North America suffer from hereditary hair loss. In the clinical research, we did a little representation here. This little image on the left represents 1 square inch of your scalp. And Nancy, if you look at the thin areas down there, you can see how they fill in after using the HairMax. And as a matter of fact, we had an average of 129 new hairs per square inch. And in our clinical studies, the average increase, like we said, was 129. So if you think about how many square inches are on your scalp, that's a lot of new hairs growing in.
That's a lot. And then what did you find after 26 weeks?
We also found that it worked on 90% of the people that used it. So whether you're a man or a woman, over 90% of the people saw new hair growth.
I want to we're going to go, which is a little unusual, but I want to do this because we've asked for you to call in if you're using this. And I hope I'm saying your name right. Is it Zanola?
That's right.
Oh, Zanola,
Hi,
welcome
Zanola.
in. My name is Nancy. Please say hello to Randy.
Hi, Zanola.
Hi, Nancy. Hi, Randy. How are you?
We're good, thank you. Zanola, how long have you been using the HairMax?
I've used it for about 4 months.
Okay. Tell us what you were experiencing and why you picked it up in the first place, and then explain to us what you're seeing now.
Okay, well, first of all, my hair grew back.
Yeah.
That's what we like to do. Good.
And it was a desperate attempt. I'm African American, and I know that one of the things that you say is that it may not work on darker skinned people. But I used it anyway, and I said, well, I'll use it because it was a really large investment. And then I said, well, I'm going to send this back because it's not doing anything. And just when I got ready to send it back, my hair started to fill in, and now I have a full head of hair.
Oh, Zanola, that's
Wow.
great news.
Yep.
Wow.
And so I would suggest anybody just stick with it, and it'll work. It may, just when you get ready to give up, that's when you need to keep it, because it really made my hair grow back, and I didn't think anything would help, and it did.
And Zanola, how do you feel now that you're getting that hair back again? What is the difference in your self-esteem?
Oh, man. I mean, my confidence is back and everything, and it is devastating when you're a woman and your hair starts to fall out. You don't really know why.
It is.
But, I mean, I don't know. I have nothing but praises for this product.
Oh, Zanola, that's great news.
Thank you so much. I know you just helped someone make a good decision today and giving them their confidence back. So thank you, Zanola, for being brave to call. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Zanola.
Thank you. Have a good night. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Now, Zanola said two important things.
Yeah.
She said, number one, stick with it. And you really need to stick with it. We put the 120-day money-back guarantee on there because your hair is not going to grow back overnight. It didn't fall out overnight. It's not going to grow back overnight. Stick with it. And in 120 days, forgive me, you will start to see that new hair growing back in.
We want to show you another before and after. We're going to walk over. Oh, I thought I was just about to
Knock something over.
everything over. Let's go over here because we're going to show you the big monitor and kind of show us what we're seeing, this before and after. Randy.
Okay, this is a gentleman here, and look at how big this area of hair loss is on his scalp. You can see he's got a very, very wide area where there's no hair, very thin hair. Now look over here. Look how all of this hair is growing in. Look how it's long, look how it's full, look how much thicker it is.
Wow.
Now this is after 26 weeks. You start to see results in 16 weeks, but we did this studies out to 26 weeks because we wanted to make sure that that hair was really growing in. And hair only grows about a ½ inch per month.
Okay.
So we wanted to make sure that you could see how nice and full that hair grew in.
Wow. And look at this one.
This is just truly amazing. This woman had such great results. You can see the hair loss up here in the crown area, through the part area. Look how unhealthy that looks.
Yeah.
Now look how that hair has filled in, it's covered the part, and look at the spot right here compared to that.
Now this is not a spray that we're seeing here. This is actual hair regrowth. And it's $65.83 over the next 6 months. And usually we do a 30-day money-back guarantee. But in this case, because you need time to see the results, we're giving you 120 days to try this out. You're not satisfied, send it back. But again, it's very important that you stick with it. Use it every day. We're going to show you now how to use this.
It is so simple, and it's also painless. The first thing that we do is there's 2 buttons to use. So we push this first button, the lower button here,
Okay.
and that turns it on. The next button actually turns the lights on. And you can see it shines 9 therapeutic medical grade lasers. And Nancy, you don't feel anything. You use it, so
Yeah,
you know
so no,
it
I don't
doesn't.
feel- you don't feel
There's no
anything.
tingling, no sensation, no pain. And then all we're going to do is we're going to brush it over our scalp. You hear that little beep?
Yep.
Yep, when it beeps, you just move it about a ½ inch. It'll beep again, you move it a ½ inch. Now, you can see how Nancy is making sure she's got the teeth of the laser comb up against her scalp. And that's important because those teeth, they move that hair out of the way. They let that laser light energy get right down into that scalp, and it encourages those hair follicles to grow back again.
Wow. Okay, so 82225-120. And show us really what's happening here.
Okay, we've got an animation, and the light is energy. And that light energy is just the right amount of energy that can go into that scalp and encourage that hair follicle to grow back. This is an animation of time lapse over 16 weeks, and you can see how hair is actually regrowing.
Well, you know what? I want to show who this is for, because in a second we're going to show obviously how we're using this on our model. But we want to see if, there's a great chart that you brought with you, Randy, because someone might be thinking, okay, is this for me? I have no hair. Is this going to make my hair grow back, right?
Right.
Yeah?
If you have no hair, it's not.
Sorry.
Right, sorry, you've waited too long.
Yeah.
It's for men or women with early to moderate stages of what's referred to as hereditary hair loss. The medical term is called androgenetic alopecia. Now, we clinically tested it on the women in the shaded boxed area. So if your hair loss looks like this, if your part is getting wider, if you can see through your hair down to your scalp, or Nancy, like you mentioned earlier, that bottom right-hand corner, so many women start to thin right above their temple regions.
That's me.
You know, as we age, the hair falls out and doesn't grow back if you have androgenetic alopecia. So the HairMax has been clinically tested to show that it can help grow that hair back. Now let's look at the men's chart. In the men's chart, we can see we clinically tested it on that men in that gray shaded area. It's the receding hairline, it's the spot in the back that the men get. But now, gentlemen, if you're along that bottom row where that hair's gone and it's shiny and you've been that way for years, unfortunately, you waited too long. So the earlier you catch it, the better results you're going to have. And then like any light device, we had to test it on specific skin tones. So we tested it on very, very light skin tones right through the brown skin tones. We didn't test it on very brown or very dark brown or black skin tones. But you heard from our caller earlier that she had the darker skin tones and it worked just fine for her.
So if you're looking and you're joining us right now, we're in a full hour of HairMax. But if you've already seen yourself in that chart and you're thinking, gosh, I really want to get some help. I want to grow those temples back. I want to grow that hair on the top of my head back.
Right there.
Right here for you guys. This affects how many millions of men and women?
It's 50 million men and 30 million women in North America.
That is a staggering number. This is something that used to only be available in professional places, only doctor's office. This is available to you and to you now. You have 120 days to try this out. This is the HairMax. It's available on 6 easy payments of it's $65.83. No shipping and handling on this, and this is the time. This is now to start to grow that hair back. You have 120 days to try this out, and if it's not working for you in 120 days, but use it those full days. I don't want you to use it every single day. Use it to the letter, and if you are not seeing those results, then go ahead and send it back, and we're going to refund your money 100%. Now, if you're out there and you use the HairMax and you have experienced what so many millions of people have experienced, the hair growth, call us and let us know, because someone out there is sitting right now listening to you and will listen to your story and say, you know what? I know this is a considered purchase, but I'm tired of feeling this way about myself. I'm tired of looking in the mirror, especially as women. Our hair is our crowning glory.
It is.
And when you start to lose that, and that starts, and you feel yourself starting to cover, you put your hat on, you start to spray around, you do all the powders and things. Do that while you're letting your hair grow back.
Right.
And start to notice that you're not going to use as much of that powder anymore. You're not going to use as much of the spray, and all of a sudden, you never have to worry about that again because you're using the HairMax, A225120. We're going to show you more results if you're just joining us, but look how easy this is to use. And talk us, I mean, how often do we want to use it?
We want to use it 3 times a week for 11 minutes. And you can see Kate here, she's just brushing it over your scalp. So if you can brush your hair, you can use the HairMax. It's that simple. And Kate will show you there's no pain, there's no, no sensation, no feeling. A lot of people think that it's almost like a massage because the teeth of the LaserComb are kind of like, they're like a hard rubber or hard plastic.
Yeah.
And as you move it over your scalp, it just feels nice. Yeah. It's almost therapeutic.
Yeah, and there is no feeling at all. It's not hot, it's not prickly, there's nothing like that happening here. But it's $65.83 on our best easy pay that we even offer here at QVC. Let's show you some more results though too. Can you talk us through this before and after?
These are important to understand. This is a young lady here.
This is me.
This is you.
That's me.
This is you.
Yeah.
And after 26 weeks, look at all the hair that she has grown in that area. That's so many women start to lose their hair as they age with hereditary hair loss, and they can't pull their hair back in a ponytail, or they have to change the side they part their hair in to cover up those thinning areas.
Yeah.
And the HairMax has been shown that we can grow that hair back so you can wear those more youthful hairstyles again.
Love that. And then how about this?
Look at this gentleman here. He just really had spectacular results. Look how thin the hair is up in this area. And look here how you can actually see he's got sunburn on his scalp because the hair isn't protecting his scalp from the sun.
Right.
Now, look at that hair growing in. Look how all that coverage he has there. Look how much thicker and healthier and fuller it looks.
This is after 26 weeks of use. This is why you want the HairMaxes. It's the Lux 9 Hair Growth Laser Comb. That is the first medical device clinically tested and FDA cleared. We're going to show you another before and after if you want to talk us through this one too.
Yes, this is just remarkable results here. I was, as director of clinical research, I spoke to a lot of the people who were in these studies. I spoke to this lady during the studies, and you know, she was so emotional about her hair loss. She was so devastated that her hair was so thin, she felt so embarrassed about it, she didn't want to leave the house. And if she had to leave the house for a function, she always wore a hat or a scarf, or she went to a restaurant and she sat up against the wall so no one could walk behind her and see that thinning hair. And then another thing was that whenever she went to a family function and someone took out a camera, she ran and hid from the camera. And finally, you know, her children would say, you don't have any pictures of you. And, you know, we want to be able to show pictures of you to our children, your grandchildren.
Yeah.
They're not going to see how beautiful the grandmother was. But she says, no, you know, I don't want pictures of me because I just don't feel comfortable with this hair loss. And then you can see in that after picture how the hair grew back. And now guess who's the first one to photobomb and jump out in front of the camera, right?
Yes, I love it. Also, want to let you know, this has garnered a whole lot of press. New Beauty actually, in their spring 2013, look at what's here. Look at that. Stronger hair, right here. Where are we? There we, right down here. The how to grow stronger hair. They were shown here. In Style, Allure, GQ, New You, the Dr. Oz Show. And the press goes on and on because this works. Right. It works to not it's not about covering it up, it's about regrowing that hair that has been lost. And it is such an easy thing to do. This used to only be available where you go to a doctor's office.
Right. This
is now available for you to use in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to tell anybody you're using the laser comb from HairMax. You get to find out for yourself, start to see in just what?
16 weeks.
16 weeks. And if you're not satisfied, send it back. You have 120 days to try this out, but you won't know until you do try it because it is so easy to use. It's totally pain-free, but you're going to feel the confidence come back. And if it's, you know, Randy, you were just talking about, we've seen that before and after of the woman, right? So, and if you do, that describes you. You hide from the pictures. You find yourself wearing a hat. You feel like you cover your hair up with a scarf. You're not comfortable when you look in the mirror. You're not comfortable to have anybody stand over you, right? Yes. This is going to be for you. I understand it's an investment, but isn't that investment, aren't you worth that investment? Isn't your confidence worth that investment? Because you think about when we are more confident as women, we do more things, we get more places.
Oh, you enjoy more life.
We enjoy life so much more.
It releases you back out into the world.
Exactly.
You know, I was talking to somebody about what makes you look older, thinning hair or wrinkles. You know, and people say that if your hair is thinning, you look older than if you have wrinkles. And you know, we spend lots of money on wrinkles, right? For the creams, the lotions, the tightening. This is a one-time investment, and the HairMax is designed to last for many, many years. You know, it's $395 on Easy Pay. With the 6 Easy Pays, you actually see your hair growing in before you finish paying for it.
I love that story. That's a good story. So 822-5120. And if you're just joining us, welcome in. My name is Nancy Hornback, and I'm being joined by Randy Valicki. He is the Director of Clinical Research at HairMax, and you also use the HairMax
I use the HairMax. I like to tell my story, too, as well.
Yes, please tell your story.
Yeah, tell my story. You know, I started working for HairMax probably about 13 years ago now, 12, 13 years ago. And when I first started working for the company, I was giving my son a piggyback ride, right? He was 8 or 9 at the time. He's up on my back, up on my shoulders, and he taps me in the head. He says, "Hey, Dad, you're starting to look like Grandpa. You're losing your hair." And I said, oh boy, you know. Well, you know, my father's a very, very handsome gentleman.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't ready to look like my father.
Yeah.
I still felt young. I still felt full of energy. I had children who I had to keep up with. You know, they were 9 and 11 at the time. So I wanted to keep that youthfulness. I wanted to keep that healthy hair on top of my head. And I started using our product, the HairMax Laser Comb. And, you know, it's like I had a choice. A lot of guys like to be, you know, clean shaven, or they like that, you know, real crew cut look or short hair. Hair has always been my thing ever since as far back as a kid as I can remember, Randy was known for his hair. I wanted to keep it that way. So using the HairMax and brought that hair back.
And you know, if you are somebody who is getting ready to do a desperate move through surgery, there's there's all kinds of things that you can do with surgery. Very expensive,
Pills.
pills.
There's pills
right?
out there. Yeah.
Why do that to your body? Why do that when it's so easy to take the LaserComb from HairMax and all you do is you turn it on. That is where you're going to press that. That's your laser. Does not hurt at all. You put it against your skin and you comb your hair. You hear the beep, you move the comb. You hear the beep, you move the comb. And you get to do this in the comfort of your own home. There's no recovery time, and yet you're regrowing your hair in 16 weeks.
Exactly. And this is our battery-powered version, so you're not tethered to the wall. You can walk around and do it. I keep it next to my bed, and 3 times a week, it's right there. It's reminding me when I crawl into bed. I'll turn on QVC, I'll watch QVC, and the 11 minutes goes by like that.
Yeah. We're going to talk about like how often, like not how often, but do I need to do my entire hair? We're going to talk about that in a second. But let's do some clinicals. Can we do that? And what
let's go back through the clinicals.
Yeah.
It's important to understand that this being a new technology, we really had to do a lot of research on it to prove to the FDA that it worked and to prove to QVC that it worked. 95,000 of these have been sold on QVC already. So that's a big testimonial that it works.
Big testimonial.
We wouldn't still be here if it didn't work. In our clinical studies, we actually did some macro photographs of 1 inch of the scalp.
Wow.
And this is an animation that represents 1 square inch of the scalp. And on the left is the before HairMax. And in our studies, we saw 129 new hairs per square inch. So the picture on the right is 129 new little dots to represent 129 new little hairs. And you can see how it filled in those thinning areas. And the reason why we worked with QVC to give such a great money-back guarantee at 120 days, because in our research, we found that over 90% of the men and women actually regrew hair in the study.
That's huge. And we're going to actually go to the phones. We're going to say hello to Joanne, who's calling in from Arizona.
Hi, Joanne.
Joanne, so tell us, you are picking up the HairMax. Why are you picking that up today?
Well, as I explained to the girl,
oh, did we lose her?
Joanne, did we lose you?
oh, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, there you
okay.
are. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes, I've been a hairdresser for, probably 30 years of my life, colored my hair and all, and had tons of it until I got older.
Oh, yeah.
And been sort of ill and not feeling well, and now I'm feeling better, and it's still not there. So I'd kind of like to see if it would work to get some of it back, as you explained, on the hairline and such.
Yes.
Joanne, I'll tell you, I have a very good dear friend of mine who is also a hairdresser, and she said to me, because we were talking about the HairMax one day, and she said, Nancy, this thing works. I have several clients who use the HairMax, and I've watched their hair get thicker and that new growth that happens in the hair. And I trust this woman backwards and forwards, and she just, she raves about the HairMax. And I know that you're going to see those results. Just stay with it. Don't give up. You need to give the full time to this.
Yes.
Well, I'm certainly going to give it a try, and I certainly hope it works.
Good. Well, call us back and let us know when, what you think about it. Give this a full 120 days.
Well, I'll tell you, I truly like watching QVC because you explain everything. And I'll watch it and watch it and watch it and all these things. And after I've listened long enough and to all the explanations of everything that I've bought, I've always come back and buy it off of you.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate it, Joanne. And did you take advantage of the Easy Pay?
No, I just kind of like to get it over with.
Okay, good for you. Very good. Well, thank you so much for calling, and I wish you all the very best, and I'm really excited to hear about your results.
Thank you, and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to both of you.
Well, thank
Merry
you, Joanne. Merry
Christmas.
Christmas to you, too, and great luck with the HairMax.
Great hair loss to you.
Good, thank you. Bye-bye.
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 So 8225120 is your item number. Joanne is trying it for the very first time, and maybe you're sitting out there right now thinking there is no hope to grow that hair back. Maybe you're thinking, gosh, I have been sick, and maybe that you're getting older and you're finding that you're thinning through the temples, you're thinning up here, you're finding all of that, and you think there's nothing you can do, and you refuse to go through surgery. Good for you. This is something to try. You have 120 days to try this. You have 6 months to pay for it. There is no shipping and handling at all attached to this, and I know it's an investment, but your investment is in you and the confidence that you will see the regrowth in your hair if you use it, and you use it every single day exactly to the letter. You're going to find that regrowth, and you're going to find how much more comfortable and confident you feel.
Absolutely. It renews your confidence. You know, so many people, you could, here on QVC, is that you can buy the makeup, you can buy the perfect outfit, you can buy the most beautiful jewelry, right? And when you walk to that special event, you go into that holiday party, or you go into that business meeting, and if you've got thinning hair, you're not thinking about how beautiful all of this looks. You're saying, is anybody noticing that thin spot or that thin area?
You know what I want to do, Randy, if you're okay with it? I'd love to show that chart about who this is for again, because I want you to kind of understand what we're talking about and who really this is for sure. And if you are somebody who teases your hair to try to get it bigger and cover what you're about to see up, this is going to be for you.
Exactly. This is the hair chart for men and for women, forgive me. And we clinically tested on the women in that shaded gray area. So if your hair loss looks like this is what's referred to as female pattern hair loss. It's also known as androgenetic alopecia or hereditary hair loss. So, if you look like this, or if your mother or your aunt or your grandmother look like this, there's a chance that it could come your way as well. That's why they call it hereditary hair loss. So if you are in that shaded area, it's intended for you. If you're down there in that bottom in the 3-year advanced, that means you've waited too long. So the sooner you start to treat your hair loss, the better results you're going to have.
Okay. What about for guys?
For guys as well, we clinically tested on that men in that gray shaded area, the receding hairline, the spot in the back. And ladies, I encourage you to take a look at your gentleman's hair, because guys can't see that spot in the back, right?
Right.
So if your gentleman is starting to lose that hair back up there, this is a great Christmas gift or holiday gift for them, right?
For sure.
Gentlemen, if you're along that bottom row where you're shiny and you haven't had hair for a long time, you've waited too long, it's not going to be for you.
Okay.
Skin tones, with any light-based device that's a medical device, you have to test it on certain skin tones. We tested it on white skin tones right through brown skin tones. The way we did the research is we had to take up close-up photographs of the scalp, and we had to count the number of hairs.
Yeah.
So if you have a dark hair against dark skin, the computer couldn't count it. So we couldn't include those dark skin types in the clinical research. Doesn't mean it won't work for you.
Because we had a gal, an African American that called in earlier. It's worked for her beautifully.
Yes,
right?
And she's grown her hair back.
And it's so incredibly easy to use. There's no pain, there's no tingling, there's no nothing, and it's just so simple. Share with us how to use it.
Exactly. You can see Kate here. She's got it up against her scalp, and she's brushing it over her scalp, and she's allowing that light energy to go right down into her scalp and rejuvenate her hair. Kate, can I take it from you for a second? I just want to point out a couple things. Kate wasn't out here brushing her hair.
Yeah.
Because this hair is keratin fiber. That's not what we're doing. Hair grows from the scalp outward. So she's placing it on her scalp. And if you can look, if we can zoom in, you can see how that light energy is going right down into that scalp, and it's encouraging that hair to grow in. Now, Kate's not feeling anything. There isn't any heat. There isn't any sensation. But this is just the right amount of light energy that's going to stimulate that hair and make that hair grow back in.
So what is actually happening in this when we're doing this? Like, how is that hair kind of growing back in?
Well, what I like to do, I like to think about it, I kind of relate it to photosynthesis in a plant.
Okay.
If you remember your high school biology, the light energy is able to be absorbed by the plant, and the plant turns that into hair growth energy. This is kind of similar. What we have done is we found the right amount of light energy that can stimulate that hair follicle and grow that hair back in. This is time-lapse over 16 weeks. Nancy, watch the hair growing back in. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Now, I want to show one more thing on Kate here.
Sure.
What I'd like to encourage everybody to do is something I call the ponytail test.
Okay.
Do you remember when you were younger and when you would pull your hair back into a ponytail? Remember how thick that ponytail was?
Yes.
And maybe you can only get that rubber band around it once or twice. As we age, you lose your hair.
Okay.
And if you have hereditary hair loss, if you don't have hereditary, it's supposed to grow back in. But if you have hereditary hair loss, that hair doesn't grow back in, your hair gets thinner, your volume gets less.
Right.
You lose that youthful thickness of your hair, or you start to lose it right up here around the edges, or right up here. So if you're seeing that hair thinning here, if your ponytail is thinner, those are classic examples of hereditary hair loss, and the HairMax is clinically tested to help grow that hair back.
And if you, we're gonna check in with what our today's special value, our Dyson, coming up in a second. But as we do that, make some decisions. Make a decision to change what's happening to your hair. You are in the driver's seat. You're in control. This is the HairMax Lux 9 Hair Growth Laser Comb. 6 easy payments of $65.83. Free shipping and handling. And when we come back from talking to Courtney, call us in, tell us how you've used this, what your results are, because someone is sitting and wanting to hear your story so that they can change their life as well. Courtney, we're checking in with you to find out what's happening with our today's special value.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Good morning to all of you. I can't wait to see you at 3 a.m. because as the holiday cheer is in full force right now, you have to think